A lot of people around the city of Katowice have been asking me what I thought about this semifinal. And I'll share it with you as well. I thought Brazil was a significant favorite. One, because I think they're a more talented team. Two, because I think their level of experience in moments like this is incredibly large. And what a gap relative to France. But thirdly, I thought that Antonin Roussier was just not reliable in a match like this. Yes, he's the second leading scorer, but among the leading scorers, he has by far, the most errors at 62. Tilly through the block and down. Just handed the stats from the opening set, and I was wrong. Lucarelli was not perfect. He was only 6 of 8 attacking. Pretty darn good. Roussier was 2 of 8, and he was blocked 4 times. And Irvin Ingapeth was only 3 of 9. France cannot win, cannot come close to winning unless their 2 star players start picking it up. And picking it up in multiple ways. Ngapeth is a good receiver. He's got to receive really well. And one of the things that France does better than anybody in this tournament is play defense. And you haven't seen that on display at all so far. Here's Wallace. Leroux over the top of the block, but out of bounds, unforced error. I like the choice, though. If you're Benjamin Toniutti, the 24-year-old setter and captain, clearly the ball was out of bounds, but that gives you an idea of the camera angle if there should be a challenge. I think Toniutti, on a perfect pass, if they're in system, France should go right back to the middle. Jump float serve, catches a little bit of a drift and carries long. Just a knuckleball and sometimes a little bit hard to control. Leroux will go back to the line. Kevin Leroux, now 25, plays for Piacenza in the Italian league on the professional side of things. 6'10", 209 in terms of meters and centimeters. Transition opportunity, Tilly into the cross court. Good response by the coach's son. See, when Brazil is out of system, when they pass the ball very badly and they don't have a good swing, they will give you the ball because they have so much confidence in their block defense phase. They won't make careless hitting errors. And when they give France the ball, France has to take advantage. Leroux off to a pretty slow start from the service line. He has served well in his 2 previous matches here in Katowice at Spodek Arena, which means the flying saucer, and it certainly looks like one from the outside. Second semifinal, Poland and Germany. Here's Lucarelli, and that ball is missed out of bounds. You're going to see a lot of missed serves at the highest level of the men's game, because you must get your opponent out of system, off the net. Because if the ball is passed to the net on target where the setter has the choice of all of his weapons, 3, usually 4, the receiving team, when they're in system, will be successful probably about 75–80% of the time. 3 straight missed serves. Good tap down that time in the read by Toniutti. Brazil wanted a lift on that first contact, but Bruno knows the rules. First contact, almost anything goes. And I think that's a good idea. Kevin Tilly played college volleyball, which is quite unusual. Most of these players turn professional at 18 or 19. Had a very, very successful collegiate career at UC Irvine, University of California, Irvine, about 50 miles south of Los Angeles. Won 2 national championships there. Coincidentally, for John Spera, who is now head coach of the United States. Here's Bruno. And that ball is served out of bounds. So one service error after another after another. That has been the storyline here at the start of the second set as we've come to the opening technical timeout. Second set, Brazil leading 1-0. France on top here, 8-6. You think it's noisy now. Wait until about 8:45 when Poland takes the court. Poland currently ranked number 5 in the world. Not a surprise to me that they made it to the final 6, but in a tournament of surprises with France and Germany making it to the semifinals, it has in some ways been a very unique World Championships. Irvin Ngapeth, I think there was a touch on that play. There's going to be a challenge. First challenge of the second set, and from my angle, it looked like there was a touch on the inside blocker Wallace. Simone Santi over at the table, and just like that, isn't the challenge system so good? And there it was. Good use of the challenge once again. And as I thought, off the inside hand of Wallace. So France still has 2 challenges at their disposal, but most importantly, they're on top 9-6 here in the second. Back quick again, and Ngapeth with the block. This ball's got to come. Into the middle to Leroux, into the deep cross-court corner. Nice wrist away out of the middle by the big middle blocker. And now France leading 10-6, and yeah, good response by France, and Brazil has to call a timeout. If I'm France, I think that's a real opportunity because they're going to get one-on-one in the middle. And right now, the outside blocking system for Brazil has been fantastic, as evidenced by 7 blocks in the opening set. And also to continue that thought, if France sets the ball to the middle successfully, all of a sudden you're going to have to see Lucas and Sidão, the 2 middle blockers for Brazil, commit. In other words, jump with the French middle attackers. And then all of a sudden life will be much easier for Irvin Ngapeth and Antonin Roussier on the outside. Le Goff again coming out of the timeout. Into the middle again and down. Good adjustment by France. And both the middle attackers, Leroux and Le Goff for France, can match up physically with Sidão and Lucas Satkamp. That ball is crushed into the cross court. Wallace, an absolute mismatch against Benjamin Toniutti. France leading 11-7. If you're just joining us, Brazil, the 3-time defending champions, easily won the opening set 25-18. There is Murillo. Not a threat offensively, not a threat from the service line, but he still may be Brazil's most valuable player. Back row, quick combination. France is a different team in the second set, and it started with good serve reception, better defense, and they've been serving much, much tougher, getting Brazil off the net and out of system. Lucarelli again and another stuff. Maybe this will get Roussier started at the offensive end. France was outblocked 7-1 in the opening set. That's a good reach into the cross court. You want to be a little earlier with your left hand. A little bit lucky there. And Lucarelli comes right back one-on-one. That's what happens when you're in system, and that's why I was talking about, look at that. All the choices, Lucarelli had lots of room anywhere, but particularly down the line. Perfect pass by Grubinikov and Roussier. And did you see the middle blocker for Brazil had to commit? Sadao jumped with LeBroux. Watch the play out of the middle. Watch number 5. There he goes. He's out of the play. Tries to get back in. Nice little tiptoe to try to be involved in the block. But that's the effect of the attacks going to the middle successfully by France, as Ngapeth comes back and misses that out of bounds. That's the game within the game. As an opposing middle blocker, are you going to commit? Are you going to guess? Are you going to read? What are you going to do? Here's Wallace. Roussier, that's gobbled up easily. And Brazil makes France pay the price. Not too many off-speed shots are going down, quite frankly, against either one of these teams. They're both superb. I think France, best defensive team in the world right now, best digging team. And Brazil not that far behind. Wallace comes in for Bruno. Rafael comes in for Vizotto on the double sub. Pretty hittable ball. Like I said, off-speed shots not going down, but that was a good choice by Lucarelli. And Roussier is blocked again. Three-man block against France, and Laurent Tilly, they led it 8-6, they led it 14-10, and he will burn a timeout at 14-11.
Il a varié le jeu comme ça, passer par le centre et Ozek, c'est parfait comme ça. Bien égal, bien égal. Allez.
Donc peut-être avancer d'un petit mètre, ou en tout cas être prêt à avancer.
Oh les gars, on a plus trop fait ça.
Antonin Roussier, he's got to pick it up for France. And when I look at his body language and I watch him attacking the ball, he's not going for it. He's hitting the ball at about 75% and hoping something good happens. Well, this ain't a game for hoping. He's got to stay aggressive, hit smart, challenge the block. Tilly down the line, dug by Rafael, but out of bounds. That was a huge swing by the young Tilly. Rafael can't believe he missed that dig. But this was a rocket. Vizotto jumps into the cross court. Rafael's in a good spot. Just too much heat. Leroux has missed his last 2 serves. And now he's missed 3 in a row. He'll head to the sideline. Middle blockers replaced by the libero. Lucarelli's been off and on with his serve already with 7 kills. Nice play by Ngapeth. And Legoff able to get the off-speed down. The attack in the middle is opening things up for France, making life a lot easier. That was a huge side-out point, and what a pass by Irvin Ngapeth. Teams will go to the sideline. France leading at the second technical timeout, 16-12. Team's back out on the floor. Here's Roussier. Pretty easy jump serve to handle, particularly when it's slowed down off the top of the tape. And Brazil runs that right down France's throat. Good back row quick combination. One of the toughest plays to stop. Le Goff, the big middle blocker, number 14. It is just so difficult to tell whether that ball is going to the first attacker or into the back row. Sadao jump floating now on that sore knee. Vizzotto, smart shot down the line. That ball's got to be dug, particularly by a defensive team the quality of France. Beautiful dig by Lucarelli in the back row. This is just a little wrist away shot. And Gapeth was in a bad spot. He's got to be deeper, he's got to be closer to the line, and just got handcuffed. And Gapeth, luckily, down inside, but Brazil able to keep the ball alive, off the foot again. And Tilly takes advantage. Bernardinho's going to challenge. We'll get to that in a moment. Where does this one go? Down the line, and Rafael playing what we call a rotation defense. From the right back position, he's rotating under the block. And Bernardinho going to challenge right now. He thought that one of the French players contacted. The only net violation is at the top of the tape now. All the rest is incidental contact. And no violation, so Brazil has burned one challenge. The lead is 17-14. Biggest lead for France in the set was 4. Vizzotto one-on-one. These are two outstanding setters, and you know the setting statistics sometimes are a little bit hard for people to understand. They're called running sets. I'll tell you what, for 10 years I had no idea what the heck that meant, but then I finally asked somebody. It's tracking the number of times the setter for their respective team, in this case Bruno, gets one of his hitters one-on-one. One hitter against one blocker. And then it's a running set if the ball is put away. And Roussier, yeah, here comes Maurice Sidibé. And maybe, just maybe, Laurent Tilly waited too long. But I get it. I get it, because they led by as many as 4. Moments ago, they led by 2. Sidibé is an explosive, talented player. They need him right away. And Gapeth, high off the late blocker and out of bounds. Really good swing by Ngapeth, and smart. Lucas Satkamp, the middle blocker for Brazil, was late, and so Ngapeth just went right after him and off the block deflection. Here's Le Goff. France back on top by 2. Block, defense, and through the block and down. Back-to-back points for France. Super block that time, and then Kevin Tilly, overhand right to the 3-meter line, which is good enough. You don't have to pass that ball right on top of the tape. Le Goff again. And they are doing a better job of keeping the ball off of Murillo. Another good soft block. And Gapeth again. Timeout, Brazil.
Bola, chegou um pouquinho aqui, o cara tocou na bola. Vamos rodar de prima. Ei, ouve! Rodar de primeira com calma, tá? Passe agora pro quadro, chupita não sai, vem te buscar.
Vamos!
Brazil got within one at 17-16, and then 3 straight points for France. And a little bit of a subplot here. Maurice Sidibe, who came in, he hasn't had to take a swing yet, so he's got a chance to get his heart rate up, get his blood flowing a little bit. And Wallace goes right over the top of Benjamin Toniutti, who stands in at only 6 feet, 1 meter 83. High jumping, opposite attacker. Why not go right after the setter? That's a matchup that Brazil's going to win all the time. Lipe coming on now for Murillo, maybe just to serve. Maybe you put Murillo back in to receive. Lipe's got a live arm. It's a good substitution. I like this sub. Ace! Right on cue. See, Murillo, after undergoing the shoulder surgery, he can't hit the ball hard anymore, or at least I shouldn't say that. He can't hit the ball hard right now. We'll see what happens in a few months from now. Brazil back within 2. And that ball, wow, there's going to be a challenge here. I think it was long. I think it was long, but if it was by a whisker. Brazil challenging, and this is their final challenge of the set. This is a huge call. And the ball was good. There it is. Oh, yeah. Well, my eyes aren't what they used to be. I've got a bad angle. That's what it is. I got a bad angle. Look at what a substitution by Bernardinho. Back-to-back aces for Lipe. Oh, and Gapeth off the block and out of bounds. How clever is that? That was a tasty swing. This is so smart. Out of system. The worst thing that happens is the ball is up into the block and France can restart and get a perfect pass in system. The best thing that can happen is what you just saw. And as I thought, Murillo will come right back on. Great serving by Lipe. Wallace over the top, dug by Tilly. Good swing by Sidibe. Wallace again, returning the favor. Very clever off the edges of Ngapeth. France leading 21-20. They led by as many as 4. Smart shot by Ngapeth, giving France another swing, and he scores. After a slow start, Irvin Ngapeth has been tremendous. He was only 3 for 8 in the opening set. What a huge swing. Remember that one. Oh, dug by Grabenikov. That's what you call a running set. Out of system. Watch Bruno here, the setter for Brazil, number 1. Look at this, running, looking, and then all the way back over his head and gets Wallace one-on-one. Brilliant set. Chance for Brazil to tie. Sidal, what a block. And Lucarelli off the block and out of bounds. Tied at 22. France has one more timeout remaining. They have both of their challenges. Brazil has one more challenge. Tilly. Wow, lucky there. Just pushing the ball into the block on a wing and a prayer. Like I said, there are lots of ways to get the ball to the floor. Sidal was there, but he was not over the net. Leroux has missed his last 3 serves. He can't miss this one. Oh my gosh. Leroux tried to serve that at about 50% just to keep the ball in. Wow. 4 missed serves in this set alone. Great pass by Grabinikov, and off of Bruno and out of bounds. Unbelievable pass by Grabinikov, Genya Grabinikov. We're going to see the end of it, but that was really, really a good jump serve by Lucarelli, and Grabinikov handled it well. Set point number 1. Wallace missed it out of bounds. We're tied at a set apiece. But we're going to have a challenge. Not yet. Why not? Bernardinho just shook his head. And here is the official call. No touch out of bounds. But smart to use it. Why not? Why not? Nothing to lose. You can't take them with you. Ball is out of bounds. France wins the second set 25-23. And the semifinals here in Katowice are tied at a set apiece. You're watching the 18th World Championships.